All right, let's take you back to the main story we're following here. Reports of a grisly attack on an UNRWA school. That's a United Nations relief agency school in Beit Hanun, a part of Gaza. I believe we have now us on the line Robert Turner. He's UNRWA's Gaza Director of Operations. Good to have you with us. First of all, can you tell us what the casualties are?
I'm not going to get into speculating on numbers. It's too fresh. I can reasonably confirm there are certainly multiple deaths and injured, but it's too unclear at the moment as to actual numbers.
Do you have any idea who the dead are, sir?
They would be displaced who had sought refuge in one of our shelters. This was a school that had been designated as an emergency shelter. The location of this school had been conveyed to the Israeli forces on multiple occasions. This is the fourth strike on one of our installations, three of which were housing displaced in the last 4 days.
As far as you know, did you receive any warnings from the Israeli military that this strike was going to take place?
No, we did not. In fact, we have been today, the area in Beit Hanun generally has been a lot of hostilities. We have been, over the course of today, trying to coordinate a window where our staff could actually withdraw from this school, and we were, for fear that the security level was not sufficient for them to be remaining, we never had an opportunity to implement that.
Who were you trying, when you say you were trying to coordinate a window, who were you in touch with to coordinate perhaps a safe passage?
We coordinate with the designated group within the Israeli forces.
So you were in touch with the Israeli military forces, someone in Israeli military forces, about getting people out, is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, are emergency crews there? Do you have an idea? Are people being tended to, the wounded?
There was, I went to the school as soon as it was reported. Ambulances had already been there. More ambulances were on the site. Injured were being taken to hospital.
All right, if I could come back to a point, actually, can you tell me how recent were you in touch with Israeli military forces about evacuating people? Are we talking the last few minutes, hours, or a longer period?
No, over the course of today.
Over the course of today, all right. From what you're aware of, we do know that UNRWA released a statement saying that you had found weapons in one of your schools, and you had dealt with those weapons. From what you know of, was there any possibility that there was anything going on in this school related to any kind of military operation by Palestinian factions?
I have absolutely no information of that kind.
And how, give me an idea of how sure you can be that nothing was going on in your school. Are you completely in control of it?
In that school, the designated shelter, we have staff who are managing the shelter. So we have people there 24 hours, 7 days a week to ensure that our neutrality of the installation is maintained.
I imagine Israeli spokespeople are going to say, but clearly those procedures are not enough if you found weapons there in the past. Did you change anything in your procedures to really indicate that you are now fully in control of everything that's coming in and going out of that place?
No, but there's a distinction here. The placement of the weapons in our installations by militant groups was done in installations that were not in use. These were empty schools that had been taken advantage of. Our neutrality had been outrageously violated by these militant groups, putting at threat our installations and the lives of our staff and the civilians. But those installations were empty. This is an installation that we were managing, that we had staff on the ground at all times to monitor to make sure that our neutrality was maintained.
Do you see any justification for hitting this school?
Well, we always call on all parties to adhere to international humanitarian law, show distinction, proportionality, and precaution to ensure that civilians are not injured.
All right, thank you so much, Robert Turner there, the UNRWA Gaza Director of Operations, confirming to us that there have been multiple casualties. He suspects that they are amongst the people who had sought refuge there from the displaced. He said that it was the fourth strike on one of their installations. and that they were in touch with Israeli military authorities through the course of today in an effort to try and coordinate a window, as they put it, to get people out of there when this attack happened that has now apparently caused multiple casualties.